everybody, it's Dr. Erin here, one of the good doctors of Abbey Research, and it is Monday, November 23rd. And for today's Good Doctors Diagnose, I want to talk a little bit about body language in Zoom meetings. We've spent a lot of time in the last few weeks, and we will continue to do so leading up to the end of the year, talking about all we've learned about remote working in the last 9 months of experimentation and crisis management, and everything we have had to change about the way we work during this pandemic. For a lot of people who work from home, we now know, thanks to our friends at Owl Labs, that close to 69% of full-time workers in the United States are now working remotely. So we have a lot of people on Zoom all the time. And thanks also to the Owl Labs State of Remote Work Report for 2020, I will include the link below so that you can read it. We know that the two biggest factors in video meetings are interrupting, which we'll probably talk about at some point, and distractions. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of body language because we might not be thinking about it. We're in a separate space from the other people on the Zoom call. We've spent a lot of time in the Twitter sphere and online and watching all the people on the news talking about their backgrounds, carefully constructed. Is the lighting good enough? Are the books distracting? What's going on behind the person on camera? But it's equally important to remember that in this weird way, we can see ourselves performing, which we don't have when we're in in-person meetings. So that can be distracting for a lot of people. It's certainly distracting for me and something I've had to learn to work with. But, I think there's a lot to be said for how we are looking and how we are engaging with people when we're on these Zoom meetings. And one of the things that's really important for me to feel engaged, and it's important for me, particularly when I'm presenting information that I might be in a meeting, is to have like facial expressions and recognition that, words are coming out of my mouth, whether you agree with them or not. But blank stares or dead behind the eyes, I don't find particularly helpful. You might not care at all, but it's something we should think about. How our body language and the way we are engaging with the information is being perceived by other people. And it might be that you're so deep in thought that you don't make a lot of facial expressions, but that comes down to communication as well. So we can communicate with our coworkers the things that we have learned about ourselves on these online video platforms and meetings so that they know that we're not thinking about our shopping list or that, we're finding their presentation boring because we're sitting there like this. But that's actually our I'm processing information face. But we don't necessarily get to see that as directly when we're in an in-person meeting because you can't look at everyone all the time. But that's the beauty and the downside of Zoom is that you can see everyone you're talking to all at once. And you can see when somebody is sitting with their arms crossed back like this, or staring off into the distance, or very clearly checking their phone or looking at their second screen. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to say all of that can be distracting, certainly, which can interrupt the flow of a meeting or somebody's ability to present the information that they've worked hard on. But it can also have a psychological impact on the person who's talking or leading that meeting. So make sure to minimize as much distractions as possible. A lot of us working from home have a whole host of things that can interrupt the meeting. So I'm not saying, lock your kids in a closet. That's not what I'm saying. But minimize the distractions as best you can and have a thought about your body language. Not necessarily whether you're putting on lipstick and a nice top, but whether you're smiling, whether you're trying to look people in the eye on Zoom, all of those things that we talk about being really important when we're in-person professional settings. I think they're still important, even though we're having them over the internets and the Wi-Fi. So those are my thoughts on body language in Zoom meetings, and that's everything for this GDD. Take care, everybody. Dr. Kristen will be with you guys with some thoughts on Wednesday. Bye.